You are currently the victim of the greatest heist in human history, but because the currency being stolen is invisible, you do not call the police. The currency is attention. Attention is not merely concentration. It is the raw material from which reality is constructed. Whatever you pay attention to grows. If you pay attention to fear, fear grows. If you pay attention to nonsense, your mind becomes a landfill. Currently, you are paying a 90% attention tax to entities that despise you. You pay the algorithm tax when you scroll. You pay the social tax when you listen to gossip. You pay the outrage tax when you read the news. These entities, corporations, influencers, parasites, are the IRS of the mind, Internal Reality Service. They audit your day, find every spare second of silence, and confiscate it to fuel their ad revenue. The liquidation of attention taxes is the declaration of total independence. You are committing cognitive tax evasion. You are cutting the revenue stream to the matrix. You are saying, my mind is an offshore account. You cannot touch it. You must understand the physics of the gaze. Your attention is a limited energy source measured in cognitive watts. You wake up with, say, 1000 watts. A high-level creative task, scripting, editing, requires 800 watts of continuous power to reach flow state. If you spend 100 watts on email, 100 watts on a YouTube video, 50 watts on a text message, and 50 watts worrying about the news, you have leaked 300 watts before you even sit down. You now have 700 watts left. You cannot enter flow state. You physically lack the voltage. You try to work, but you feel brain fog. That is not fog. That is power failure. You have brownouted your own brain by powering too many useless appliances. The sovereign architect unplugs everything. He creates a blackout zone where no taxes are paid. He wakes up and refuses to spend a single watt on the world until his work is done. He treats his attention like a starving man treats a loaf of bread. He hides it, he guards it, and he eats it alone. The click is a contract. Every time you click on a thumbnail, a notification, or a link, you are signing a micro-contract. The contract reads, I agree to exchange 5 minutes of my finite life and X amount of brain processing power in exchange for a hit of low-grade dopamine. This is a terrible deal. You are trading diamonds, time/focus, for plastic beads, entertainment. The IOXI 3 protocol demands that you become a contract lawyer for your own mind. You review every potential click with extreme suspicion. Is this transaction profitable? If I click this, do I get closer to the 540 videos? If the answer is no, you do not sign. You do not click. You practice aggressive ignorance. Being informed is a trap. The informed man is depressed, anxious, and paralyzed by complexity. The ignorant man who ignores the noise is focused, dangerous, and productive. You must cultivate a blissful, arrogant ignorance of everything that does not concern your mission. Did you hear about the war/scandal/trend? Your answer, no, and I don't care. This is not apathy, it is resource protection. You must also identify the passive leaks. These are the taxes you pay without noticing. Open browser tabs are a tax. They occupy RAM in your brain. I need to read that later. Cluttered desktop icons are a tax. Background noise is a tax. Unfinished tasks are a massive tax. The Zeigarnik effect. Your brain loops on unfinished loops. The liquidation process involves closing the loops. You declare bankruptcy on read later. Close the tabs. Delete the bookmarks. If it was important, you would have read it. Clear the desk. Turn off the phone. Every visual stimuli demands a micropayment of attention. By creating a minimalist sensory environment, as discussed in the comfort sector, you stop the leakage. You stop paying the visual tax. You are sealing the hull of your submarine. The outrage industrial complex is the most expensive tax collector. The media and social algorithms are designed to trigger your threat detection system. They show you things that make you angry or afraid, because anger and fear are the strongest magnets for attention. When you get angry at a stranger on the internet, you are paying them an emotional tribute. You are giving them your cortisol, your adrenaline, your heart rate. You are physically degrading your body for their engagement metrics. This is slavery. The sovereign architect views outrage as bait for the sheep. When you see a controversial headline, you recognize the hook. You do not bite, you swim past. You have no opinion on things you cannot control. I have no opinion is the most liberating phrase in the English language. It saves you millions of dollars in cognitive currency. Keep your anger for the work. Don't waste it on the feed. Finally, realize that attention is the only thing you truly own. Your body can be imprisoned. Your money can be stolen. Your reputation can be destroyed. But your ability to choose what you focus on is the final citadel of your freedom. This is the core of Stoicism. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your soul. When you stop paying taxes to the matrix, matrix, you become invisible to it. The matrix cannot control a man, it cannot distract. You are building a Faraday cage around your consciousness. Inside the cage, there is only you and the work. Outside, the world is screaming for you to look at it. Let it scream. The king is busy. The second phase of liquidating attention taxes is the implementation of counter-surveillance measures against the silicon gods. You must understand that the algorithm is not a tool. It is a digital predator. It tracks your eye movements, your scroll speed, and your dwell time to build a psychometric profile of your insecurities. It knows you are lonely before you do. It knows you are broke before you check your bank account. It uses this data to weaponize your feed, serving you exactly the content that will trigger a dopamine loop or a cortisol spike to keep you glued to the screen. You are a lab rat in a Skinner box, pressing the lever for pellets. The liquidation of the feed is the act of breaking the glass. You must initiate algorithmic evasion. This means you stop feeding the beast the data it craves. You stop liking, you stop commenting, you stop sharing. You become a digital ghost. You consume what you need for the mission, tutorials, specific information, and you leave no trace. You confuse the algorithm by searching for random, boring topics. You unsubscribe from everything that is not Tier 1 utility. You are poisoning the data well. When the algorithm cannot predict you, it cannot control you. You become a glitch in the matrix. This leads to the gray rock protocol. This is a psychological technique usually used to deal with narcissists, but you will apply it to the entire distraction economy, including people. The distraction economy thrives on reaction. It wants you to laugh, cry, argue, or validate. When a friend tries to dump gossip on you, did you hear what happened to X? Or when a news site tries to bait you with tragedy, you become a gray rock. You offer no surface for the hook to grab. You are boring. You are uninteresting. You respond with, okay, I don't know. You give them zero emotional energy. You do not feign interest to be polite. You do not argue to be right. You simply exist as a smooth, impenetrable object. When you stop reacting, the parasites lose interest. They go looking for a juicier host who will give them the drama they feed on. You are saving your colors, your passion, your anger, your joy for the canvas of the work. Be colorful in your videos. Be a gray rock in your life. You must also declare a notification nuclear winter. The red notification dot is the most effective slave collar ever invented. It is a command from a machine to a human. Look at me now. If you obey this command, you are a slave. The sovereign architect disables all push notifications. No exceptions. No email, no social media, no news, no texts. The only thing allowed to ring is a phone call from an emergency contact, parent/partner, and even that is screened. You shift from push technology, the world pushes data to you, to pull technology. You pull data when you decide. You check your messages at 1200 and 1800. In between, you are unreachable. This terrifies the human who suffers from FOMO, fear of missing out. The architect embraces JOMO, joy of missing out. By missing the meme, the joke, the breaking news, you gain the deep work. The silence of a phone that never rings is the soundtrack of an empire being built. The dopamine detox is often misunderstood as a temporary cleanse. For you, it is a permanent diet. You are allergic to cheap dopamine. TikTok, shorts, reels. These are dopamine candy. They rot your attention span. If you watch 30 minutes of reels, your brain adapts to a 15-second content cycle. When you then try to edit a 10-minute video or write a script, it feels agonizingly slow. You have destroyed your cognitive endurance. To fix this, you must consume long-form nutrition. Force yourself to read books, paper, not digital. Watch 2-hour podcasts without checking your phone. Watch old movies with slow pacing. You are retraining your brain to handle low-stimulation environments. This is like training a runner to run marathons after years of only sprinting. It hurts. You will feel bored. Embrace the boredom. Boredom is the waiting room for creativity. If you kill the boredom with a phone, you kill the idea that was coming next. The sovereign sits in the boredom until it mutates into a vision. We must also liquidate the tab hoarding mentality. Having 50 tabs open is a sign of a cluttered, fearful mind. It says, I'm afraid of losing this information. You are hoarding data you will never use. This is cognitive gluttony. Close the tabs. If it is truly important, write it down in a single master doc. If not, let it go into the void. A browser with one tab open is a sniper rifle. One target, one shot. A browser with 50 tabs is a shotgun fired by a blind man. Noise, mess, and no precision. The sovereign architect operates with single task fidelity. You do one thing. When it is done, you close it. Then you open the next. This serial processing allows for 100% of your RAM to be dedicated to the active task. You are not multitasking, which is a lie. You are switch tasking, and every switch costs you energy. Stop switching. Stay locked. Finally, you must construct an attention fortress around your workspace. This is the physical manifestation of the gray rock. When you are working, you are not home, you are in a bunker. If you live with others, put a sign on the door, deep work, do not enter unless bleeding. This sounds dramatic, but it is necessary. You are training the people around you to respect your focus. If you allow them to interrupt you for trivialities, where is the salt? You are teaching them that your work is trivial. By enforcing a zero interruption policy, you increase the value of your attention in their eyes. They will think twice before disturbing the king, and inside the fortress, you are safe. The algorithm cannot find you. The gossip cannot reach you. The news cannot hurt you. There is only the cursor blinking on the screen, waiting for your command. The final stage of the liquidation of attention taxes is the transition from a saver to an investor. You have successfully evaded the IRS of the mind. You have stopped the leaks. You have become a gray rock to the parasites. Now, you are sitting on a massive stockpile of cognitive capital, raw, unspent attention. The human does not know what to do with this silence. He gets anxious. He wants to spend it on a new distraction. The sovereign architect takes this hoard and invests it into a high-yield asset, the 540 videos. You must understand that attention behaves like money. It earns compound interest. If you focus on a single subject for 10 minutes, you get linear results. If you focus on it for 4 hours without breaking the stream, you get exponential results. This is the deep work multiplier. 1 hour of deep work, zero distraction, is not equal to 4 15-minute blocks. It is worth 10 hours of fragmented work. By hoarding your attention and deploying it in massive, uninterrupted blocks, you are leveraging the physics of cognitive compounding. You are not just working harder, you are working with a heavier currency. You must internalize the physics of coherence. A light bulb consumes 100 watts and barely illuminates a room. A laser consumes 100 watts and cuts through steel. What is the difference? Coherence. In the light bulb, the photons are scattered, moving in random directions. Entropy. In the laser, the photons are aligned, moving in a single vector. Synchrony. Your mind has been a light bulb, scattered focus, illuminating everything but changing nothing. You are becoming a laser. You align every photon of your attention toward a single coordinate, the channel. When you achieve this coherence, you burn through obstacles that stop normal men. You burn through writer's block. You burn through technical limitations. You burn through the market noise. The market is flooded with light bulb content, dim, scattered, lukewarm. You will enter the market with laser content, concentrated, hot, cutting. It is impossible to ignore a laser. It blinds the competition. It brands the viewer's mind. This requires the adoption of radical mono-idealism. The world tells you to be balanced. It tells you to have hobbies, a social life, a diverse portfolio of interests. This is advice for the average. The sovereign is unbalanced. The sovereign is obsessed. You must put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket with a sniper rifle. Your basket is the Ioxy 3 philosophy and the channel. Everything else is distraction. If you are thinking about politics, you are leaking. If you are thinking about what to cook, you are leaking. You must enter a state where you are thinking about your vision even when you are not working. This is the background processing privilege of the obsessed. Because you have cleared the RAM of all other data, your subconscious mind continues to edit videos while you sleep. You wake up with solutions. You wake up with titles. You are running a 24/7 rendering farm in your skull. This is how you produce 540 videos. You don't do it with 8 hours of work. You do it with 24 hours of focus. The reality distortion field is the ultimate dividend of this investment. When a human focuses enough attention on a single point in space-time, reality begins to bend around that point. This is not magic. It is resonance. Your intense focus acts as a gravity well. It pulls in resources. It pulls in ideas. It pulls in luck. You will find that the exact stock footage you need appears. You will find that the perfect music track reveals itself. The algorithm suddenly likes you. This is not an accident. It is the result of your attentional mass warping the probability field. You have become so heavy with purpose that the universe has no choice but to orbit you. The distracted man has no gravity. He floats away. The focused man is a black hole of intent. Be the black hole. Swallow the market. You must also understand the protection of the golden hour. Your attention is not equal at all times of the day. You have a peak voltage window, usually 2 to 4 hours after waking, where your cognitive ROI is highest. This is your golden hour. To spend this hour on email, news, or chores is a financial crime against your future. It is like using gold bars to pave a driveway. The sovereign architect guards the golden hour with lethal force. During this window, the phone is off, the door is locked, and the mind is pure. You invest this hour solely in the highest value activity, scripting or editing. This is where the genius lives. The rest of the day can be used for administrative tasks, the low voltage work. But the golden hour is sacred. If you protect this hour for 365 days, you become a master. If you sell it to the matrix, you remain a slave. Finally realize that by liquidating the attention tax, you are buying back your life. Time is not money, time is life. Attention is the mechanism by which you experience time. If your attention is stolen, your life is stolen. You are not killing time when you scroll. You are killing yourself. You are committing slow motion suicide. By reclaiming your focus, you are resurrecting yourself. You are stepping out of the gray fog of the zombie consumer and into the technicolor clarity of the sovereign creator. The colors become brighter, the music becomes deeper, the work becomes ecstatic. You are no longer watching the movie of life, you are directing it. You have the camera, you have the script, you have the focus. Action. Invest the hoard. Pour all recovered attention into the AOXI 3 work. Become the laser. Align every thought vector toward the 540 videos. Embrace obsession. Balance is for the poor. Obsession is for the kings. Guard the golden hour. The first 4 hours of the day are for God-tier work on bend reality. Use your gravity world into your orbit. The tax is evaded. The hoard is invested. The laser is lit. The reality is yours. AOXI 3 out.